I tell you what, I'm going to run her trailer, and then we'll go into the show. That's okay with
Do
you?
it.
All right.
There's a story, because there's always a story. There has to be a story. You know, and I'm talking about libraries, so I can't not tell a story because they mean too much to me.
Libraries are filled with an infinity of stories, and a fair few stories have been written about libraries. These fictional stories often focus on the mysteries that libraries and archives have hidden away, and only a select few are allowed to access these mysteries. The same can be said of real-world academic libraries, where only the privileged few can access the research they need. Examining and analyzing fiction that has been written about libraries and archives can help us to confront the anxieties that surround real-world institutions. My name is Elizabeth Hedrick, and this is just what I'll be doing this year on Anxiety in the Archives, my podcast dissertation. Over the course of the show, we'll discuss social and cultural anxieties around libraries and archives, and we'll learn some truths about access and privilege. We'll also take a deeper look at how traditional academic writing is changing and evolving, and what this means for students, and for the brave advisors who are taking this journey with them.
It's going to swallow all of us before the end of it. I know it is.
Well, we're not going to let it swallow you, but if it has to lick you, we might.
Release the Kraken!
So join me on February 26th, 2023, for Anxiety in the Archives, my podcast dissertation.
It is so good.
Texas Steampunk Connection coming to you live from various parts of Texas in our bunkers and airships and whatnot. I am Flavio as usual, and
With me as always is Thax, the gentleman adventurer, and Jack from Steamchest. And we have Master Blue Stocking. Say hello, guys.
Hey!
So once again, we are here to talk, probably about steampunk, most likely, because that's what this is about. Thank you for listening to the Texas Steampunk Connection.
All right.
Such a bouncy song. I've enjoyed that in all sorts of my my fiction-loving days.
Welcome to the Texas Steampunk Connection, everybody. We are back. Most of us are back. Blue Stocking is... if you tuned in early enough, you just heard her trailer for her new podcast dissertation, and she is being wined and dined by
The elite librarians.
the elite librarians, showing her off as a show pony because they're all excited about this new podcast, and so she didn't make it back on time. We might see her pop in later, I hope, but there's no telling. No telling.
Blue Stocking is the new My Little Pony.
But hey, Jack and Dax are here.
It's the twosome. It happens every now and then. It's okay. We'll live.
Speaking of living, we barely lived through last week. It's funny, 2 weeks ago we were talking about the weather that was coming, that was already in Dallas getting colder, and we had the hint of snow, but that didn't happen. It held off, teasing us, and then last week, bam! February. It's time to kill people.
Oh yeah.
And just like 2021, the power got below zero and the electricity started cutting out. Not for the same reasons. This time it was because we have too many trees. There was a ice storm, and the ice piled up on the trees until they fell over on the power lines, knocking out power, at least in Austin and in Elgin, just all over the place. I'm in Austin, and some of my friends, I was saying, still don't have power, and it's that happened on Tuesday. I lost power on Wednesday. The ice storm started on Tuesday.
So you literally got power only back
Saturday afternoon.
Saturday afternoon. Yeah. Wow.
And
Tell us how that goes when it's not that cold outside.
Well, that was better than the 2021. We didn't have a blizzard with feet of snow. For the first few days, it was cold. They didn't want to go outside, and I still had gas, so I had a gas fireplace and a gas water heater.
That's
so
right.
Those are my sources of technological heat. And we just piled up futon and mattress and blankets in front of the fireplace, and read books until it got dark. And shortly after that, we went to bed.
Yeah, I remember building Legos by candlelight.
You don't sleep I didn't sleep very well in the cold, though. And even when the weather got warmer, I mean, shoot, by Friday afternoon, I was sweating outside. But I felt like I was in shell shock. Wasn't getting good sleep, although I was getting technically hours of sleep.
It's stressful sleep.
I feel like I'm still recovering, and we're getting another cold front this evening.
Yeah. Here it comes. It's gonna be really wet tomorrow. So
yeah,
another, as they say in Texas, a gully washer, which would be a great name for a beer.
Gully washer.
Gully washer. I mean, definitely one for like something like quench your thirst. Make it like really citrusy or something. I don't know.
Wasn't that a candy? Some sort of candy with a squeezed gushy middle thing.
That's a gusher.
Gusher. Oh, okay.
I mean, you're not too wrong. The GU thing really makes it worthwhile there. But yeah, a gully washer, really heavy downpour of rain, a toad strangler, a cob floater, and a duck drowner. Things I did not know about until I literally just hit up the internet.
That sounds all very Wild Westy.
It does. It sounds like. But I've been playing that Hunt Showdown game still, so this is like right up that Wild West age. Like, I have a friend who literally, because of all the storms we've been having, he lives in Louisiana, and all that weather just has passed over to Louisiana. And he's like, Jack, I walk outside. I just want to. I feel like I need to go hunt monsters and kill zombies. It's wet out here. grab a freaking breech loader and go for it. Yeah, I bet it does look very much the same. Just wet and ick. So,
yeah.
But yeah. So, what are you drinking?
What are we drinking? Yes. Okay, so this time I've got another cider that they were giving away.
Just giving it away.
I mean,
you have the best luck when it comes to booze, sir.
It had my name on it.
Oh. Oh, really?
It doesn't actually have my name on it. This is
Anzo
Pride Dry Cider.
Ooh, I like the can. It's pretty.
With 5.4%. Now, I tried a weird cider before a few episodes ago, and it was a mistake. So I tried this one ahead of time.
Okay.
So it's not going to make me cry. But it being a dry cider, it is not sweet.
Okay.
It is like they let the yeast do its thing until it was done.
Oh, they let the yeast party.
I think we have some cideries here in town, like Austin East ciders, that are pretty dry. You got pretty dry ciders. And this is, wow, it's very light, bubbly, kind of champagne yeasty.
Ooh.
Just to say, there's no sugar left in it.
Oh, it's gone. It is that dry.
But I got an answer for that.
Dry as this. Oh, that's not dry. That's some sweet stuff.
How do you revive a cider you just don't care for that much? Not that this is bad. This is all right, especially for what I paid for it. You know, something I learned in Las Vegas called an Angry Balls.
Oh,
Can we say that on this show?
yes, that is technically not illegal to say online.
So that
I think I can
usually
get
would
away
be
with it on
an
YouTube.
Angry Orchard cider,
Yeah.
which is a sweeter cider to start with, and Fireball whiskey. And between the sweets of both of those, it will get you messed up.
Yeah. I can see how the cinnamon of one really works with the apple of the other. There you go. Gotta get that. Yes, that's a good look. The
The
look
high
of
quality plastic bottle.
that strained to open a bottle look, and then when it pops open, you're like, ooh, it's done. I got the guzzle going. Glug, glug, glug.
Just an ounce, just a shot's worth. Maybe that's an ounce and a half.
No, who's guessing?
Let's see if this gave me some more interest.
It's a good mug you're using.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I get a little more sweetness, but mostly I get the cinnamon added to the very light, airy cider that this is. So that's good. It's good. Cheers.
Well, very good on that one. I don't remember if I had this last time or not. I don't know. I wasn't here last time. I was supposed to be here, so I actually saved a beer from last time to drink here today. And I have my Voodoo Ranger here. I would probably have. Wait, am I like 3 times now, or just like 2 times? I've already done this. I think I've already had Voodoo Ranger.
You enjoy Voodoo Ranger? I mean, they've got a lot of different beers and
juicy
brews.
hazy one. So that's
an IPA.
Yeah, it's closest thing I can come up so far to the electric jellyfish without buying electric jellyfish in a can.
Because it's expensive.
It's expensive. It's delicious, but it's expensive, and honestly does not taste the same in a can. And this gives you the same amount of flavor without the expectation of an $8 beer that doesn't taste as nearly as good in a can. And for $8, I can get I think this is like $9 for a 6-pack or something. So it's not terrible. It's still kind of like that. It's the crafty beer cost.
I see, straight manufactured, mass market, American style brews going for $7 to $8.
$6 to $7. It's always a little over $1, which is funny because Coca-Cola costs more than a lot of beer does. And you really start realizing what Coca-Cola is made out of. You're just like, that is like the biggest ripoff of the century. They are making just hand over fist money on sugar, and they're selling you a bottle. So it's like highway robbery. You can't even get drunk on a bottle of Coke.
No, you can't. A 10-year-old can. It's not fair.
No, that's true. That's true. They get all sorts of stupid on it, and you're like, oh, go to bed.
Quit now. Bounce it off the walls. I'm high as a kite. Whee!
Oh, no. Now, if it was like Victorian Coke, that'd be different.
Victorian? Oh, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I actually have a tincture of what was it? I have to go find it again, but it's a mixture of like 3 or 4 different. I don't know. I can't remember where I picked it up at. I found it in a bin somewhere at one of our old we had like an old facility, and that we purchased for literally to move into we're moving into another house way back, and it was like an old not supermarket, but market at this point. It was like it got renovated multiple times during the 50s and 60s and 70s, but it had a really cool meat locker in the back that looked like you could easily stage a scene out of Saw in it, because it's got the whole metal racks with the hooks and everything, and the whole room was refrigerated. You could butcher anything in there. Had the drain, the walls were stained. It looked terrible. And there was one light in the whole closet area of that thing, and it had a big glass dome with the bars across it like this. and it made that really terrifying, like electrical buzz when you turned on the light. It sounded creepy as hell. Whole thing. I really should have done some like video recording in there at some point in my life, but I didn't have the ability or the equipment at the time. And but yeah, we found like this tray of like old glass bottles, and some of it was like Listerine from like the 40s. It had like the label on it and such, and I didn't realize that some of that stuff was, but I picked it up and like some of it's like straight up old school medicine from like the 30s and like earlier. And I have some of it around, and it's a mixture of opium and something else. I can't remember. I think it is some sort of like dental. So it's a Novocaine and dopamine mixture, and it still looks good. It's clean and everything, and it has a topper, and I don't touch it. Like if I ever get that bad off, I may one day adventure towards it. But it looks fun. If I was really, really in pain, I may actually attempt it, but I'm almost afraid of it at this point. That's getting on that 100-year mark.
Wow. Well, I mean, they give you all kinds of stuff at the hospital now. That's
you don't know even what it is. At least the stuff is fairly natural. You know, at least less refined, less messed with by like Monsanto and Pfizer and a whole bunch of other things.
Right. What they give you now is still opiate based, so basically the same thing.
They hate giving you opium based these days. It's like a federal guideline not to give anybody anything with opium in it.
And yet doctors prescribe it hand over fist.
And yet I can't get prescribed it to save my life.
Just get another doctor.
That's the terrible thing about it.
I know a therapist in this town, so not a doctor, a therapist, and I've seen reviews. People have gone in for a therapy session with her, and she says, "What can I prescribe for you?" Just like I'll write it up, whatever you want. That was what she did.
That's terrifying because the moment that she gets audited, she's losing her license and like going to prison.
And yet she's been just fine doing this for years.
Wow. Well, sometimes you can be lucky, I guess.
And those reviews are
and
on
you
Yelp.
Become like Andrew.
Not like it's a secret.
Oh, I know. We're gonna get political suddenly.
Okay, not political. Are we? Do we have a political thing?
I'm not really on either side of that. I'm waiting for more information on the Andrew Tate stuff. I never really watched any of his stuff. He's always a little too much for me, but I wasn't against him either, really. But so yeah. But when you're being held by the Romanian authorities and like tomorrow is your 180th day and they have yet to produce anything, either tomorrow they're going to drop everything on you, or they're going to let you go and they're going to look like idiots. And the Romanian, Andrew Tate. He was taken in by the Romanian authorities because he posted so he has been apparently cited for a couple.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah, where he threatened, or he didn't threaten. He tried to make fun of Greta Thunberg on Twitter, and he posted
by showing her his pizza boxes.
Yeah, and the pizza boxes tipped off the Romanian government. He was in the country, so they went and raided his home, took him, and. So I'm like, that's what you get for picking on a teenager on the internet, you know.
That's what you get when you mess with us.
So I don't know. I'm watching that with some funny just like the Romanian government doesn't want to look like idiots, so they have something. They're just trying to find out the full extent of something before they hit you with the book.
I'm sure. Even if they'll let him go at this point, like his reputation is ruined. The world knows who he is now, and he's a laughingstock.
There's a weird group of people who are very defensive of him, though, and it's the same with a lot of like people who try to get canceled. Is there's always their strange followers that even if even if legitimate like stuff comes out against him, they're going to follow it no matter, and that's where the word fanatic comes from.
Sure. And I know just the sort. I mean, he was in the pickup artist community, right? And
yeah,
And so, yeah, the alphas, the men who consider themselves, the alphas,
He never wore a
following.
fanny pack full of treats and band-aids. I don't see how he was an alpha.
I know. That's why I do the quotes. But yeah, I can see they're just the sort of dude bros that are gonna
call her dude bros.
They're the betas that follow this balding schmuck. Yeah.
Yep.
Hey, but steampunk, right?
Yeah, steampunk. Romania, very steampunk.
You got any of that for me today?
Sort of. The word gully washer was about as steampunk as I've got at the moment.
Oh.
I've been looking. I have been I know there's a lot of conventions starting up and going forward right now. The Wild West, the old Tucson Studios is reopening for public use, which means you can go tour it, which is interesting because I'm wondering if they're going to go into talks with Wild West Con to maybe bring that back in the next year or two. That would be freaking cool. I know they've done a lot of renovations because the pictures they have online, suddenly there's a lot more buildings there. So either they've ramped up production for movies or they're looking at trying to reopen it as a convention space, which would be fantastic for all of us steampunks because that's kind of the steampunk mecca in a lot of ways was that one, at least for the West.
I'm sure it all involves, how much they want rent for.
Yeah.
But that would be awesome. Yeah.
I mean, they just want a weekend of you would pay your fare to get in dressed up. That would be cool. If you want us to do, that would be. We could just bomb it one day. Just all roll in one day.
Just a raid.
Yeah. Just a steampunk raid. We have to come up with a good word for that. For steampunk. It would have to be a gully washer. I'm going to use it in a sentence. Be a real toad strangler of a weekend.
And that is coming up here, isn't it? Let me see.
Yeah, it's April.
Let's see. Con Wild West Steampunk Convention. That is March 9th through 12th.
There you go.
So yes, very, very soon. And if you're willing to drive down to Tucson, Arizona,
it's a fun. It very much feels like you're kind of going on a pilgrimage that direction. First, you got to get out that far. Then you get to go to Tombstone, and you get to go in. Tombstone's fun to go to, especially on the way to. And actually, you can if you plan a couple of days, you can actually go visit the missile silo that they filmed First Contact in, and touch the same missile that Patrick Stewart touched for the movie. You're into that, and then you can move on to Tombstone and go see the old town that's no longer an old town that basically sells a whole bunch of Wild West stuff, and a great place to get your britches. They sell britches and overalls and it's actually pretty decent for gearing up your cowboy self.
That's reasonable. Yeah, that's cool.
I bought a couple of replica guns there, and they were reasonably priced at the time. And that was right before steampunk. It was right when steampunk was becoming apexy, right before it became popular, and the news took it over, and it became in the know. And suddenly everyone's like, "Oh, it's old. I can sell it to a steampunk person for 3 times the price." And yeah, it was right then when people were like, "Please buy all these reproduction guns that we just have them here." Cool, I'll take this one. I'll take this one. I'll take this one. Yeah, here we go. There's $100 worth of fake guns.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, because usually now it's $100 for one of those.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I could turn a profit. Be a reproduction gun salesman. What are you? I'm a fake gun runner. I sell fake guns. But it's okay. They know they're fake. Until you get that one crime boss. It's like, hey, look, it's a hell of a deal. I think it's like, what are you trying to pull on us? I'm like, I was very straightforward from the beginning.
I said they were fun guns. What do you think that meant? Okay, well, I've got homework I can show off.
Okay, I do actually have one or two little things.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
They're cute. They're not anything major. How am I going to show this? Okay, so I'm going to share my screen real fast. Move this over to this monitor. Present. Not slides. Share screen. Share the screen. Which screen is it going to share? It wants to share entire screen. And this one. So outside of that, we're going to look at this toilet. This is a wonderful looking toilet.
Oh, wow. That is nice.
Yes, see? Wonderful toilet. Great toilet. Now, that was one thing. This other thing is, if you're into computers, here is a gentleman that has figured out you can passive cool your ridiculously large processor with an 8-pound block of copper. No fans.
That makes sense. It's very heavy.
I'm like, do you really want to set 8 pounds of straight copper on your processor? I mean, dang. I thought that was fun though, because now you could passively cool your computer with brute force.
I'd be worried about like shorts.
I'm not really worried about shorts. I'm worried about the pressure on the processor, because that's 8 pounds. If you look at the mounting hardware, like it's spaced off by like 1/8 of an inch. It's all we can hold up with these little screws and like not even like rubber gaskets or anything. I'm just like, that's gonna be rough on your motherboard. But interesting idea.
What if you went down to 4 pounds? Doesn't make as good a photo, but it's probably just as good.
I mean, probably this. I know this guy did a lot of math and had this custom milled. So probably if he is running his processor really, really hard, overclocking it and everything, it probably is cooling that thing up to 90 degrees. It's probably bringing that thing up to about a 90 degree.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
Yeah. So fun stuff. That's some of the stuff I have found that I think is interesting. Just on a passive, frantic, try to find something to show people, because Steampunk's hard to find things for right now, at least for me in my world.
It's funny how it has seasons.
Yeah.
And maybe we're not. Well, I think of summer as being out of season, at least here, because it's so stinking hot. But I don't know. It shows up when it shows up, I guess.
That is true.
Let me show you a thing. Let's see if I can.
I am ready. Because other than my 8-pound copper block that cools a computer without a fan and the crapper that was invented in 1910, that's what I've got at the moment.
Okay. Here we go. Dr. Sheffield's original toothpaste.
Oh,
time-tested natural recipes with real flavor. This blew my mind. Erica found this. It's he's like the originator of like selling toothpaste, and the first to sell it in a aluminum tube.
Huh.
And
all flavors.
And look at that fantastic mustache. I mean,
man. Made from the most recycled material on the planet, aluminum.
Well, I don't think that the toothpaste is made of aluminum. Just the tube. I hope. I can't be sure, I suppose.
Oh, so it looks like you know what? That would be bad. It looks just like a thing of paint. I could see this being really bad, really fast in my house.
I guess that's true. I have not tried every one of these, but the cinnamon here was really nice.
I bet that tastes just like the cinnamon gum.
It does. It tastes exactly like the cinnamon gum. And I've tried the chocolate toothpaste.
What? No. I'm sorry. No. I'm not. No.
No, no. What?
No. I'm sorry. I draw the line at chocolate toothpaste. That seems weird.
I have some right here.
Oh no, you
yeah.
do.
Chocolate.
Is it? How is it?
It is like brushing your teeth with a whipped chocolate frosting.
Yeah, that's about as bad as I was expecting.
I mean,
if I wanted that,
I wouldn't say it was good.
Feeling, I just go get a freaking thing of chocolate frosting.
But it's amazingly accurate. It's not like it promises chocolate and you get it and it's kind of like, ugh. No, it's dead on chocolate frosting.
Oh my god, that just sounds wrong. I brush my teeth with chocolate
for kids.
It's almost as bad as the Kesha song. Brush my teeth with a bottle of Jack.
Well, at least she's brushing her teeth.
I mean, that's alcohol at least. It's like like you're kind of doing it with, freaking mouthwash, but chocolate frosting, Jesus. It's like the Cookie Monster goes after.
It was weird. It was strange.
I mean, if it's good, it's good, and if it actually works, it works. It's impressive that the fact that they were able to get the flavor that way for one, and still have it be like gritty and still worthwhile for your teeth. Unless they're choking you, and it's actually just chocolate frosting in a copper tube. Does your teeth feel kind of like they've been rubbed in Crisco? These are the questions we must ask. All right, you must brush your teeth on stream next time.
Oh
yeah.
You don't need that. You trust me that I've done it.
Okay, we will trust you. You've done it. You've done it. You've done the science ahead of time. We're here to look at your papers. I wonder what Blue Stocking would think of chocolate toothpaste.
Oh, I had a conversation with her last 2 weeks ago after the show.
Oh,
saying, "Oh, I had this thing to show," and she was like, "No."
Yes, no, I don't ever want to associate chocolate with brushing my teeth. I'm sorry. That's just these two things that need to be separate. I want to enjoy my chocolate, not feel like, gee, I need to go brush my teeth now.
In other news, I found a movie that I watched last night. Not exactly steampunk, but I was hoping for it. It does include the character of Edgar Allan Poe.
Okay, that's pretty decent.
Since he had his birthday 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't find out about this movie until later. The Pale Blue Eye, which apparently came out last year, but it is available on Netflix. I watched it last night to see if it was any good.
How was it?
A lot of good cast members. Christian Bale is the main character.
Okay.
And who else did I recognize? Toby Jones. I know him by face, but not by name. Sort of a short guy. What else has he been in?
Toby Jones.
Let's see. Known for Hunger Games, Captain America. Really?
He was in Harry Potter 2 Chamber of Secrets. He was one of the professors, I think.
Yeah. Machine, thank you. And also Gillian Anderson is in The Pale Blue Eye.
There you go.
From X-Files?
Yes.
Yes. Beautiful.
She always does well.
Anyway, sort of a turn of the century, or maybe earlier 18th century mystery story that it just throws you right into it. Christian Bale plays this investigator, sort of rough American guy who is pulled in by the English officers to It's all the mystery because you find this this cadet that's hanged himself, and his body has been mangled and mutilated. It's pretty funky. Who's talking?
Just in time to save the day.
You are muted.
Oh no.
We cannot hear you.
There we go.
There you are. Hello.
Hello.
Woo!
Sorry. I apologize for my absence. There were
We
things
already
happening.
explained that you were being chased by a giant Tyrannosaurus through a library. It's fine.
That is my everyday. Librarianship is hard, y'all. You have no idea.
I mean, we watched The Mummy. We understand.
Exactly. It's a difficult job, but somebody's got to do it.
Yep.
What did I miss? The Pale Blue Eye? I've been meaning to watch that.
And chocolate toothpaste.
Last night.
Wait, chocolate toothpaste? What?
Oh yeah.
Wait, didn't we talk about your weird toothpaste the last time?
We talked about it between us after the show last time.
Okay.
Now
I was
everybody knows.
Now everyone knows your secret.
His
My predilections.
chocolate frosting, that he uses for toothpaste. Yes.
Well, hello. I'm glad I
Hello.
was able to hop in here. I apologize for it wasn't supposed to last this long. I was supposed to be home like an hour ago. So
Well, apparently you boring people had something very fun to do, and I'm glad you enjoyed it.
yeah, there was a lecture at my school from a woman who graduated in 2005 with a rhetoric PhD. She came back. She wrote a book about female aviators from 1911 to 1970.
Cool.
But it's about the rhetorics of these aviators, the things that they had to go through, the stories that were told about them, and the politics involved. Like I can't remember the name, but one of the aviators she talked about, she kept being described as mother of two, becomes pilot. This was like 1929, 1930. Mother of two becomes pilot. And like so many headlines about this woman who were mother of two.
Oh, like you can't ever do anything with two kids.
Well, but because she was not a person in her own right. She was a mother. She was a wife. So yeah, it was about all of these different early. It was Amelia Earhart was in there, but also like Bessie Coleman, who was one of the first well-known black female pilots. So that there was the lecture about her book, and then we went to dinner afterwards with the different people from the department and the grad students. And because I'm a current up and coming PhD candidate doing a weird dissertation, I have to go to these things. So
We've already told everyone you're the show pony.
Yep.
I am the pretty pony right now.
Who's talking the new My Little Pony?
It would be fine if I was just doing the normal dissertation where you write a book and you put it out, but I'm not doing that. So I had to make things hard for myself. So yeah. So
Everyone has to listen to yours now.
what, to my podcast?
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I don't know.
The trailer the trailer is out, but I'm having trouble with Apple. Apple's fighting me about it. So
What? They don't like the sound effects?
there's something about it they don't like. And with Dollhouse, it was easy. I posted it, they published it, and it was fine. But there's this one, I don't know enough about the coding that they're complaining about to fix it. And Matt has been really busy, so I don't want to. Yeah, we're gonna have to sit down and look at it and figure out why Apple's angry about it. So, but it's on the website, anxietyinthearchives.com. The trailer is up. So,
Oh, we know. We know.
We know.
why did you talk about it already?
We did more than that.
We did.
Huh? Did you? You played? Did you like it?
We did. It was very good.
Okay,
I'm
did you
very
li-
happy with it.
My advisor, the one that you can hear at the very end saying it's so good, she didn't listen all the way to the end, so she didn't know that she was on there. Yeah, that's Ashley Bender, Dr. Ashley Bender. She's the one on my committee. Yeah. And the one talking about licking the crack and licking that's Dr. Dundee Lackey.
Nice.
Yeah, that's my committee.
Did they know you had the mic on at the time?
No, this is the agreement when we went into this whole thing to begin with, was that this would all be recorded, because those clips, the clips about the licking that was from my prospectus defense. The it's so good part was my committee head is Dr. Gresham Busel, and we were texting back and forth about when I was writing my prospectus, and she was with Dr. Bender, Ashley Bender, and she's like, Dr. Bender thinks your prospectus text is so good so far, and I'm like, really? And then I get this sound file that says, it's so good. I said, I am using that. Yeah.
Paste.
Yeah. This is the agreement. They know that this is, because this is new.
Yeah.
This is the second podcast dissertation. So everything, I mean, they're going to approve things before they go out to the public. But yeah, no, they know everything's going to be recorded. That was part of the agreement when we started this. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
You're blazing a new territory for bringing, I don't know, it's an interesting way of going about a dissertation, and it's a new way of doing this storytelling that hasn't really been, I guess, pioneered or ventured much for such a thing.
It's a multimodal type thing. It's not the book that people usually write, and that's because there's a lot more involved with doing a dissertation. People see nobody reads dissertations.
Yeah.
You write it and it goes
to them.
No, I mean, no, you can look them up. They're in ProQuest. You can look up most people's. Some people will have them embargoed, which means that you can't look at it for a certain period of time because they're going to write an actual book about it. But dissertations are out there. That's what I spent my first few years at the TW library doing, was scanning and digitizing dissertations. They're out there for people to read. Nobody, unless it's your specific field, nobody really wants to read them. So this is taking it out, but this is also showing people what's involved in the process. That's part of what I'm doing. It's not just about libraries. It's about grad school and how difficult this whole thing is.
Now that you mention this, I have actually a really funny short story about my father, who he graduated with from Tech before he went back for his law degree with a what do you call it when you go into news?
Journalism.
Your journalism degree, and he had to do his dissertation. I don't know if it's a dissertation, but he did a paper that was his final. That was fairly large.
What level was it? Bachelor's or master's? It was a final paper. Yeah,
his final paper. But your final paper gets published in the newspaper, which then gets archived. And
it happens a lot.
He did his final one on streaking in public campuses, and it had pictures. And it's funny because he went back there every couple of years. He'd go back and check the archives, and you'd see the ticket of how many people checked it out to look at it.
Yeah,
and it was one of the most popular newspapers to ever be looked at.
Yep,
at Texas Tech.
This is 2023. Everything is digitized. I mean, the first few years that I worked at the TW library, when I went to digital, that was what I spent my time doing, was digitizing things from the oldest one I think we worked on was from the 20s.
Nice.
Back when TWU was still the Texas School for White Girls in Industrial Arts. Yeah, it wasn't TWU.
Was it really named that? Because that'd be great.
Yeah. The Texas College for White Girls in the Industrial Arts, I think. There's a whole.
So we're teaching you to basically use a sewing machine.
There was more involved in that, but yeah, there was journalism classes. It was, textiles. It was all, but no, it's gone through iterations, but no, that's what I spent my time doing, was digitizing these things, and people look them up if that's their field, but this way, this gets out to more people, more people hear it.
To me, it seems much more publicly accessible.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Everyone's dissertations are within reach, but I don't think most people. I wouldn't know where to look.
Yeah. Or most people wouldn't.
I would. Yeah.
Yeah. Outside of college, I wouldn't have known either. It wouldn't even have occurred to me to look these things up. And public scholarship is becoming more and more important. Which is like my blog with the fairy tales and the folklore. That's public scholarship. It's taking academia and putting it in, what's the word I'm looking for? Better to understand terms, taking the academic terms out of it, but there's still citations. Everything I write still has citations. It's still, verifiable, but a lot of people want to read this stuff, but they get turned off because they think that it's written in language that they can't parse.
Often it is.
Exactly. And I don't want it to be that way, which is, again, my podcast. Well, and y'all have heard the prospectus episode. It's, it's still academic. There's still citations, but it's accessible, and there's quotes from the Princess Bride and, fun stuff in there. So that's what I was doing. I was being academic for a while at the library and then at the local restaurant. So
wow.
That'll end eventually once the dissertation is done and I graduate. I'm not the star student anymore. So
you're leaving a big hole that someone's going to have to fill.
But my advisors, I didn't know this. They actually do watch this. At least one of them does.
No.
Because I said something about they didn't get anybody for tonight. And she's like, well, the boys will be okay on their own. I'm like,
we're the boys. All right.
They're my boys.
We did okay. I hope. We'll find out later, I guess.
Yeah, we'll get the comments later. So, and
if you're on the show, give us a comment now.
I meant to watch Strange World for the last 2 weeks, and I didn't. But did we ever talk about Frostpunk, the game, on this show?
Oh yeah, we did.
I played it.
I
started last week. Yes, it's hard.
I have not actually played it yet. I have been waiting for it to go on sale for Steam, and then I missed it this year.
I got it through Galaxy of Games, GOG.
Uh-huh.
It is hard. Oh,
yeah, you got to make some difficult decisions. Like, this person pickpocketed, but if you cut off his hands, then suddenly he's no longer a productive member of society, and now he's just a waste on your resources.
But not even that. When you start, they're like, "Do you want to sign this order to make child labor legal?"
Yeah. Because you're the last city on the planet, all huddled around this little dormant volcano, trying to make ends meet.
Yes. And do you want to cut people's limbs off so that they'll live, and then you'll give them prosthetics later? Yeah.
These are the easy questions.
Well, those are like the early questions. Those are like on the first 4 days.
Yes, so that they'll live. Oh, yes. I mean, of course.
I have a friend who plays it often, and he's like, I do my best never to become a fascist state, but I always end up as the most fascist state ever. Just because it's all about survival, and you're giving up all your safety.
Yep.
I mean, you're giving up you're trying to do everything for safety and try to keep people together, but in the end, they revolt against you because you've basically taken away all their free will.
I kept restarting the scenario to try to do it better, and I just couldn't do it better. Yeah, no matter what, you're gonna make people mad. Yep.
I play a game very much like it called RimWorld, where it's like you're starting a colony on the edge of space. It's very much Serenity. Like you take a random planet like Serenity or Firefly, and you crash land and have to start, building your colony, and you get raided by raiders or people who were there before you, or random animal attacks, and you're just having to make all these stupid decisions. And there's a whole Reddit field of crap RimWorld says, and there's all these people going, how do I keep people alive while I organ harvest and stuff like that? That's fairly
Well, that's one of the options in Frostpunk. They're like, do you want to build a cemetery or do you want to bury bodies in the snow? If you bury them in the snow, you can harvest the organs later.
Ooh.
Once you've researched the technology. I'm like, well, since I have people who are going to need prosthetics.
See, this is one of those things that it's. Yeah, I feel you. I like this.
Wild.
I want to hear more about this.
Sorry, I didn't mean to crash into the middle of this like a wrecking ball. So,
what was her name? You go right on.
I'm Miley. Just call me Miley. What were y'all talking about before I came busting into the middle of this?
Chocolate toothpaste.
Oh, that's right. Chocolate toothpaste. Okay. Oh, is that where we were? We were just the chocolate toothpaste?
No, he actually was
talking about the pale blue eye.
Yep.
Yeah. Because I keep seeing people talking about it, but I didn't know that all of the actors that you were mentioning were Gillian Anderson's in it.
Gillian Anderson's in it. Yep.
Well, I'm gonna have to watch it now.
She plays the weird old lady.
Really? Oh, I love her. Oh, okay.
I feel like she really. I mean, she's an excellent actress.
She is.
I've never seen her play an old kooky woman before.
I mean, it was Sweetheart. It was going to happen eventually. I mean, she's a little bit older than us, so it was going to...
I thought I was catching up with her.
Because X-Files was early 90s, and she was in her 20s.
I thought I had a shot.
Well, I mean, doesn't mean you don't, but yeah, she's a little bit older than us. So.
One show she's played in recently, it's really good, is Sex Ed.
Sex Education.
I have heard that. Yeah, I haven't watched it, but I've heard
it
really good
is
about her.
fantastic to watch if you're into that kind of thing. She plays a wonderful, open-minded mother and doctor, and I think not psychiatrist. She's
a sex therapist.
She's that sex therapist. And the kid from Ender's Game is her son, not daughter, son. And it's just really weird to see him that much older already. You're like, wait, what? No. But
I've heard really good things about it. And she's always good. I mean, I've seen her period pieces are excellent. The House of Mirth. Oh, so good. Yeah. She's always good. So all right, I will look up the Pale Blue Eye then, and then I'll finally watch Strange World. Since I keep
among the things about Pale Blue Eye. Now it is a mystery story. Basically, Christian Bale's character is the investigator who's solving the mystery, but he also hooks up with the young cadet Edgar Allan Poe, played by Harry Melling. If you're familiar with him.
No, I don't know that name.
I wasn't, but he's got like this really big head and a really tiny face. So that's kind of weird.
Okay.
It's an interesting character that the way he plays Edgar Allan Poe is a young cadet in the military who was pushed around by his fellow soldiers.
So is it set in the U.S. then?
It is set in the mid 18th century U.S.
Okay.
So there's a lot of colonial British officers. I think that's where it.
We'll say if it's Poe. I mean, he was. Harry Melling. Oh, Harry Melling is played by the Dudley Dursley kid. He's good. He was in his Dark Materials.
Yes, we actually were. Yeah, I was going to mention that now.
Yeah,
next.
He's good. He's excellent. Yeah, I'm glad he grew out of the Dudley Dursley.
Oh yeah,
into his own,
he needed to.
He is so good. Okay,
I was hoping that he would not be typecast because he's such a great actor.
Yep.
And
he really is.
We are actually in the middle of watching his Dark Materials right now. And
I need to get back into it. I haven't watched the final season yet. Yeah, and yes, he did have a brief part in the Nevers. Yep. The Nevers was excellent too, and I'm still mad that they cut that off after 6 episodes and just
doing a lot of that now.
HBO, yeah.
Yeah, except for HBO doing weird things like let's remove Westworld before everyone's got done watching it.
But you can get it on Amazon if you pay for it. It's available on Amazon Prime if you pay for it.
HBO.
I know. I'm just saying. I don't know. HBO has Batman the Animated Series, and it helps me.
I own that on DVD though. Like, yeah, no, that's fantastic. I saw a picture of Harlequin and Ivy, Poison Ivy, on the internet somewhere. I'm like, man, I need to watch the show again.
You know what? I didn't know for a long time because I watched it when it first aired in the way back when. I didn't know that Harley was I didn't know until like 10 years or so ago that she was created specifically for that show. I didn't know that she didn't come out of the comic.
Yeah, I guess they needed Joker to have
they gave him a foil. A sidekick and a foil. Yeah, she was created for that show, and then she was just so popular that they put her into the comic.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Mark Hamill having someone to play off of works really well.
Mark Hamill.
Yes.
But he won't do it anymore now that Kevin Conroy's dead. He won't come back and do the role anymore, which I get. I mean,
no, I fully understand.
I'm behind. Yeah.
But we'll always have Cogknocker.
Is that going to be the name of this episode? We will always have Cogknocker. How do you spell that? COGG.
Nope.
So wrong. Oh my god.
Yeah. Anyway, Pale Blue Eye.
Okay. Yes, I will watch it. I swear.
I thought it was really well paced. It sets a good tone, and it doesn't rush things. Although it throws you right into it at the beginning, and I was kind of like,
it's a movie, right? It's not a series.
It's a 2-hour film.
Okay.
Right. Serious 2-hour movie. I watched it with my brother-in-law, and he hated it. He said it was really slow, and he couldn't keep his attention. But for me, I thought it was really good. but it is got that dark, brooding sort of thing going that you cannot rush and do right. But the story was so good. It's sort of like the mystery is solved at the end, and then there's a surprise ending where you find out the mystery was an entirely different thing than you thought it was.
There's a twist.
There's a twist ending,
Twist.
but not an M. Night Shyamalan twist ending. More like a good one.
Okay. Hey, I like some of his twists when they were new and fresh. Okay, then I will put it on my
Pale Blue Eye, yeah, on Netflix.
Okay, yeah,
And,
I've got a whole stack of things, but yeah,
yeah.
I've been hiding in comfort shows. I've been watching Buffy and Angel.
Oh,
but I've been doing the
Supernatural just to have it on.
Yeah, I've been doing the make sure I keep the Buffy and Angel, watching them like when they originally aired. So jumping back and forth. Yeah, it's
when Angel
they're
first
comfort
came
shows.
on, when Angel first came on, I just broken up with a girl, and I would watch Angel and drink whiskey.
Oh no!
With that sidekick character that was in the first few few episodes,
Doyle.
And then they killed him, and I had no one to drink with.
But you know about him, right? The actor Glenn Quinn. He really, about a year later, he really died.
Wow.
Okay,
wow.
Did you ever watch Roseanne? You know, he was Mark on Becky's boyfriend on Roseanne. He was Mark.
I did not know that.
Yeah, he was Mark, and he was actually really good friends with David Boreanaz when he was on Angel, but he had some issues. So the final season of Angel, when Cordelia comes back and they're watching the video again about our rates are low, blah blah blah. He was already. Yeah, it was not. Yeah, I loved Doyle. He was so good. He was wonderful. But they planned to get rid of him sooner, but the fans liked him so much that they kept him until mid-season before they wrote him out. And then he didn't do so good after that. So
no. Yeah.
But I liked Wesley. I mean, I was a fan of Wesley from Buffy. So I was excited when he showed up because he was such a weenie and he turned into such a badass. And but you could see the progression. It wasn't like a flip. It was an actual progression of all of the, he got shot and was in a wheelchair for a while. Then he got his throat slit, you could see his progression.
You had to just beef it up because damn it, life is hard.
He kept ending up in the hospital because of Angel, Well, no, actually at the end of the first season, he ended up in the hospital because the building got blown up. And then he got shot and then he got his throat. Yeah. So I like when like Cordelia, you can see her progression so clearly that, she turned out to be one of my favorite characters too. I like a good character arc. So, but yeah, going back and watching them again's a little different now in 2023 when you think about everything and things that have changed. Times are a little different. When you're watching it in 2001 and you're like, so.
Yeah,
but also
Sweden.
And, God. They've all
goddamn thing.
Yeah, they've all come out. Most of them the death of the author, art versus artist. I mean, it's Sarah Michelle Gellar is proud of the work she did, but she will never touch Buffy again, and she has things to say about.
Yeah, there's some things.
I appreciated Freddie Prinze Jr. coming out and was like, "Fuck this!
Yeah,
I got to tell you some stuff."
Yeah, Charisma Carpenter too. I mean, she was, but at the time, we knew it was happening. At the time, she got pregnant and he got mad.
Yeah,
that's why he killed her off. But didn't even kill her off. He put her in a coma.
Yeah, that's like
because
we're gonna just put this entire character on ice just in case.
So
we can't get rid of you completely.
So, and which is also why when the Nevers, because he was part of the Nevers, but all of this started happening, and so he bowed out, and he wasn't supposed to be part of the next 6 episodes, and then the whole HBO they filmed them. The episodes are done, they're ready, but they won't air them. They're just gonna sit there.
They're doing
like Batgirl.
Yeah, they're doing that with a lot of shows.
Yeah. Because they get a tax write-off.
Yeah.
They make more off the
dumb.
tax write-off for never airing it than they would have made for putting it out there.
I heard
That's
this
what
on
happened with Batgirl.
I heard this on the radio. I don't know anything about a tax write-off, but if they put it out there, they have to pay royalties to all the actors, and if it's not out, they don't have to pay them.
Then they get, and there's a whole
work.
because when they shelved Batgirl, they were saying it was because they would make more money. It has to do with how much money they put into it, and if they don't release it because there's problems, then they get taxes back on it, a tax write-off on it, and it's more than they believe they would make if they released it. So that's why a lot of this is happening, and they're yanking stuff off the shelves, like the Nevers, like Westworld. I'm waiting for a lot of the stuff I like to get yanked.
And that's why we need corporate tax reform, because that doesn't make any sense.
None of it makes sense.
Why is your failed stories, your failed shows, why am I paying for that by you not paying taxes?
Yeah, because I want to see the end of the Nevers. I want to see those next 6 episodes. They're done. They're literally finished. Batgirl was like 95% finished when they shelved it. Yeah. And their excuse is that with Batgirl, especially, is that it wasn't fit for public consumption. And all of the people that are in it are like, could you please? We worked really hard. Yeah. Because they don't make anything off of it like the executives do. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird. The whole HBO, Warner, Discovery, there's a lot of strange things happening. Yeah.
I'm honestly very surprised, especially with Star Trek being broken up between 3 different major companies, like Viacom, and then bankrupt Viacom, new Viacom, and Paramount. We can never have a Prime Trek universe again.
Yeah.
And I'm just waiting for basically one of them to fail and trip, and the other ones to buy it up, all of it together. Kind of like how Disney just came out of nowhere and bought up all of Fox for the sole purpose, well, not sole purpose, but one of the biggest reasons is Star Wars. I think it was Empire Strikes Back was a Fox-owned video movie. And so they couldn't make box sets without going through lots of legal issues because Fox would want their money. And Disney did not want to share because they spent a lot of money buying Star Wars. And so they went out and bought all of Fox for that reason. Well, that was the main reason to begin with. And then they got all these other IPs with it too.
Yeah.
As long as they didn't get Fox News. They cut Fox News off. They don't even want any of that.
Well, I mean,
attached at all in any way.
But never. Yeah. But I mean, stuff is being divided up between the networks because HBO has. But did you know that HBO also just canceled a bunch of DC properties? They canceled Titans. They canceled Doom Patrol, which Doom Patrol, the Renaissance, that is the reason that Brendan Fraser came. It wasn't the whale. It was Doom Patrol. That is the reason Brendan Fraser came back into the public consciousness like he did. And they've canceled it after 4 seasons.
After that.
Yeah. And Titans after 4. Yeah.
It's time to cancel HBO.
Oh, but they have all the movies. That's the problem.
But you're never going to see them.
I know, but this is the problem: is that everything is sliding down tighter and tighter into certain. Disney has Star Wars, and they have Marvel. They have all of that stuff, and HBO has all of the DC, including Batman the Animated Series, all of DC shows.
There is a solution to your problems.
What are you going to tell me to cancel all of it and stop watching TV?
No.
Pirate? Are you going to tell me to? You know what? I destroyed computers doing that back in the day, trying to get Supernatural when I didn't have cable. So
they're pushing us back into it. They're pushing us back into it.
They're pushing us back to Pirate Bay. I know.
I feel like in the near future, the moment that we're no longer in this spiraling economy, when all businesses are literally having to just cut everything to survive. And yet I say that, and only 6 months ago, they're like, well, no one wants to work. And now 6 months later, we're firing 10,000 people. Literally, it's the scene out of like The Fifth Element, fire 1 million. It's straight up stupid.
I'm just going to start buying the DVDs. I mean, that's what I used to do. Yeah. And that's what I'm going to go back to because this is Amazon came out and you could buy buy it on Prime and you'd have all of this the whole season, and it was really nope. I'm going to start spending spare cash on buying the DVDs because this is insane.
Yeah.
And I've been buying audiobooks and ebooks, and because it's easier.
Yeah.
Because when you move, ebooks are much easier to deal with.
Ooh, I moved my entire library. Boop.
Exactly. I've got my iPad. It's all on there. But this is, with everything that's happening.
I still have a hard time with that. I'm more willing to actually pick up a book than I am to pick up a...
Because of my eyes, I can't. Ebooks are much easier for me now because of my ADHD and my eyes.
I feel that. And I drive so much that audiobooks are the way to go for me. But
it's still reading. I don't let anyone tell you otherwise.
No, I know.
I will fight you.
I would rather listen to 50 Shades of Grey than watch it, let me tell you.
You are still consuming
the
audiobook
is still better than the movie 50 Shades of Grey.
And there are
the worst possible part for this whole entire joke.
There are studies that show that consuming it as an audiobook for people with neurodivergence, they will retain it better, faster, longer, than the written word.
Especially if the guy
everybody's different.
Angel from Buffy is reading it to you, then suddenly it's wonderful.
When you say 50 Shades of Grey, I immediately think Gilbert Godfrey.
What?
You ever seen it? Oh, Gilbert Godfrey reads
have I seen 50 Shades
of Grey.
That was fantastic.
No.
Yeah, you need to look it up on YouTube.
But also, in my defense, I've never read the book and I've never seen the movie.
No, but it's funny hearing his just
I
watch
can't.
20 seconds. It is
I can't even
hear all day.
I can't even repeat what he reads.
No, I can't. I read Twilight and then the first book because I felt like if I was going to make fun of Twilight, that I needed to actually read it. So my best friend's daughter.
That is the last set of books I believe that is true to. That
my
is
best friend's daughter
did that. I gotta at least know what I'm making fun of. Now it doesn't matter. But that was the last bastion of I have to know this. And
one of
then
my
50
friends
Shades
at the
came out,
time, her daughter was a teenager and she loved vampires and werewolves, right? So I'm like, she's got to have a copy of it. So I said, Bree, do you have a copy of Twilight? This was back in 2008. I'm like, do you have a Twilight? And she got quiet and she left and she went up to her room and she came back with the book and she shoved it at me. She's like, please get it out of my house. And I think she was 16 or 17. So I read it because I wanted to know what I was making fun of. And no, after I found out that 50 Shades was Twilight fan fiction and that it handles that subject in a very bad way, that is a bad representation. Yeah, no. Mm-mm. No, nope. It was bad. It was all bad. Nope.
Very much so.
If you like it, great. You're reading. But it is not for me. I encourage reading in all forms. But it's not for me. No. So. And with that.
We're at 9 o'clock. We're past 9 o'clock. So we got to wrap this up. It goes too fast. It goes too fast.
Sorry. I will be on time next time.
You had something to do. You're fine. Gee. Yeah, you got to leave early from your next dissertation, secret librarian meeting.
It wasn't that. It was a lecture by someone who graduated from our program in 2005. So
I remember being lectured in college.
Texas Steampunk Connection is brought to you, in part, by J.R. Seeger's novel, A School for the Great Game. Edwardian teen Elizabeth Bancroft resents being sent to school in India. The college is, in fact, the British India School for Spies, where Elizabeth will learn the family business of espionage, martial arts, and Tibetan mystic arts. The School for the Great Game is the first in the Steampunk Raj series, available on Amazon. We're also brought to you thanks to Fair Treasures. Fair Treasures has a selection of Texas-made female-presenting costumes and accessories for Renaissance fair and steampunk wear, and one-of-a-kind and imported jewelry. You can shop Fair Treasures at www.fair.treasures.com or on Etsy. Our patrons, we want to thank them, Jenny and Ryan Shaver, and, of course, Rita and Lawrence Allen, who are with us every episode. Thank you, guys. And And I'm going to pass this over to our founder, Flavio, to take us out. Is there anything else you guys need to add? Nope. All right. Come and see us again in 2 weeks, and we'll look forward to that. Good night.
So, once again, thank you for listening. You can find us again on Facebook at Texas Steampunk Connection for any comments, questions, suggestions. If you know of something happening Steampunk that's happening soon, we can put it on our calendar, on our Patreon, as well as the list of over 100 comics and graphic novels, Steampunk and Weird West related.
You can also email us at texassteampunkconnection@gmail.com. And we're a streaming podcast, texassteampunkconnection.podbean.com.
And if you lose it on Facebook and you want to watch a rerun of this show at any point in time on YouTube, you can go find them on Steamchest.
And although we've made many, many jokes about Twitter, you can look for us at TX Steam Connect 1 on Twitter.
I never use it. I never look at it. I don't know. I don't understand Twitter. Once again, thank you very much. And until next time, mind your gauges.
Mind your gauges.